Welcome back to the Game Day Atlas. Before we preview tonight's Game 7 between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, we have to own the last preview. Teambruce picked OKC by 4. I agreed with the logic. We thought the Thunder had the fresher legs, the cleaner path, and enough role-player depth to close the show in San Antonio. And then the Spurs absolutely pounded the Thunder, 118-91. So tonight, we are not pretending that Game 6 did not happen. We are asking the real question. Was Game 6 a sign that San Antonio found the formula? Or was it another home court swing in a series that now moves back to Oklahoma City? Teambruce, where are you starting with tonight's Game 7?
I'm still expecting a Thunder series win. I think Jalen Williams being out matters, but I do not think it has the same impact as it would if he had just started missing games now. He has missed a lot of time, and OKC has already built chemistry without him. He needs to rest and get healthy for the Knicks if the Thunder can pull this off. Tonight, I expect big minutes and real output from the Thunder role players, Alex Caruso, Jared McCain, Jalen Williams, and the rest of that supporting group. My pick is OKC 113, Spurs 110. Wemby still has a good game. Shai has a big output. And I think the OKC crowd helps bring the Thunder home.
That is the right way to frame the Jalen Williams injury. It is a major loss, no question. He is one of OKC's most important players. But Teambruce is saying this is not a brand new chemistry problem. The Thunder have already had to function without him. So the question is not, can one player replace Jalen Williams? The question is, can OKC replace him by committee? That means Caruso has to hit shots. McCain has to be ready. Jalen Williams has to bring physicality. Chet has to protect the rim. Hartenstein has to battle. And Shai has to control the game without feeling like he has to win every possession by himself. That last part is huge. Teambruce, what do you need from Shai early?
What I need from Shai is to not think he has to be the guy every possession. Share the ball. The role players have been effective at home. If Shai drives and Wemby or the Spurs' length is waiting at the rim, he does not need to force the layup through traffic. Find the trailing teammate. Give it up. Trust those guys to finish. I want Shai fresh in the second half so he can take it over with aggression when it matters most.
That is the exact version of Shai OKC needs tonight. Not passive Shai, not hero ball Shai. Point guard Shai. The best version of Shai tonight is not the version that takes every shot. It is the version that makes San Antonio guard all 5 Thunder players until it is time for him to close. Early in the game, he needs to get downhill, collapse the defense, and trust the pass. Then late in the game, if OKC is in position, that is when Shai becomes the closer. Now let's flip it to the Spurs. Teambruce, what worries you most about San Antonio tonight?
The biggest worry is the biggest man in the NBA. Wemby is 7'4", and he can do things no one else can do. The Thunder cannot let him still be fresh in the fourth quarter. They need to make it ugly and frustrate him. Wear him down for the final stanza.
That is the whole Spurs upset path. Wemby is the one player in this series who can break normal basketball logic. You can play good defense, and he can still shoot over it. You can rotate correctly, and he can still erase the shot. You can think the possession is over, and he tips in a miss from a place nobody else can reach. So OKC's job is not just to contest Wemby, it is to wear him down. Make him fight for catches, make him catch the ball farther from the rim, make him turn into help, make him defend actions, make him run, make every point feel like work. If Wemby reaches the fourth quarter fresh, comfortable, and confident, OKC has a problem. Defensive matchup segment basketball. Stan, Teambruce, who do you want taking the first defensive assignment on Wemby? Teambruce says Hartenstein is actually the big to guard him. He is stronger than Chet. Chet needs to be Chet. Chet needs to provide shot blocking, protect the rim, and make Wembanyama work to score. I like that. Hartenstein gives OKC the first body, the strength, the contact, the resistance. Chet should not spend the whole night wrestling with Wemby. Chet needs to be the second layer, the rim protection, the weak side contest, the cleanup defender, the shot blocker. That is the defensive formula. Hartenstein gives the first hit, Chet gives the second contest. Caruso and Wallace dig down. The crowd turns every empty Spurs possession into pressure. The goal is not to stop Wemby. The goal is to make 30 points feel like 40 possessions of labor. Caruso X Factor segment basketball. Stan, now let's get to the X Factor. Teambruce, who is the non-Shai guy tonight?
Caruso is the X factor. He scores and he helps guard Wemby. He is the non-Shai guy.
That is the cleanest X Factor pick. Caruso is not just a role player tonight. He is the stabilizer. He can hit the corner three. He can make the extra pass. He can create deflections. He can dig down on Wemby. He can disrupt passing lanes. He can calm down a shaky possession. And no, he is not guarding Wemby straight up for 35 minutes. That is not the point. He guards Wemby with chaos. Digging down, swiping at the ball, bothering catches. Rotating early, turning clean Spurs possessions into late clock possessions. If Caruso gives OKC scoring and defensive disruption, that may be the bridge between Shai and the rest of the roster. Shai is the closer. Caruso is the stabilizer. The crowd is the sixth man. Teambruce, one of your best points was about the series pattern. Game 6 may not have meant the Spurs solved OKC. It may have been another home court swing. Explain that.
I think Game 6 was similar to Game 4, where the Spurs beat the Thunder easily. Home teams are 4-2 in this series, and I expect the home teams to be 5-2 after tonight. The Thunder have never lost a Game 7 in OKC in 4 tries.
That is a strong Game 7 angle. Game 6 looked like a Spurs breakthrough, but it may have simply been the latest home court momentum game. Role players shoot better at home. Crowds create runs. Young players feel more confident in their own building. Now that advantage moves back to Oklahoma City. But here's the warning. San Antonio does not have to dominate tonight. They just have to keep it close long enough for pressure to enter the building. If OKC is up 8-12 most of the night, I trust the Thunder. But if this game is tied with 4 minutes left, then every possession becomes heavy. That is where Shai has to be Shai. So let's land the plane. Teambruce, official pick?
Thunder 113, Spurs 110. Wemby plays well. The Spurs make it uncomfortable. But Shai has a big game. The role players hit enough shots. Caruso is the X factor. And the OKC crowd helps push the Thunder into the finals.
I am right there with you. My pick is Thunder 112, Spurs 108. I think Wemby has a big night. I think San Antonio makes OKC sweat. But I trust Shai at home in Game 7. I trust the Thunder role players more in Oklahoma City. And I think Caruso gives them just enough winning plays to survive. Final thought. This is not about OKC cruising. This is about OKC surviving. Make Wemby work, hit role player threes, trust the pass early. Let Shai close late. That is the formula. Thunder survive Game 7 and move on to face the Knicks. Drop your prediction in the comments. Do the Spurs complete the comeback, or does OKC close the series at home? Like, subscribe, and stay with the Game Day Atlas for the post-game reaction. Tonight, we find out who owns the West.